Well, for more on these job reports, we're joined now by the CEO of Manpower, that's Joerres. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
First of all, let's talk about the big finding here is the 73% of employers anticipating no change in hiring from April through June. Do you see that as a good sign, a sign of stabilization?
Oh, no doubt. What's really interesting, though, is that number, 73%, is the highest in the survey. And the last time we had that number was just last quarter. So when you're in normal times, you're finding about 58, 59, 60% of the companies are kind of in the no change mode. What you've got right now is that companies are hanging on. What they're saying is, I really would like to hire, but I don't have the certainty or I don't have the demand to hire. That 73% has a very big opportunity, even during this next coming quarter, or definitely as we get into the third quarter, to shift over into that, yes, I'm going to increase my hiring.
Is that the typical lag time then, when you see this stabilization and no change, that it takes a quarter or two then for things to pick up?
There is some things typical in it, but I think what we have now is what's typical in this down cycle. This down cycle just tends to have a little bit more of a taffy pull before it can really get done. So it's stretching out a little bit, month here, a quarter here. We probably would have seen in the previous upturns a little bit more of an inflection point, but clearly we see that up and down. So I would say right now, stable is positive. Second quarter is a much larger hiring quarter than the first quarter, so you see some just good old effects of now I can hire more people, and I think we're going to start to feel that in the second quarter.
Jeff, might I ask that, because if you are going to feel that, and it seems that things are stabilizing somewhat, is the skittishness that you're seeming to refer to, is that a product of the fact that we still have an unemployment rate since at least the last couple of quarters now? It's below 10%, but it's at 9.7, and could that also be a byproduct of people's perhaps fears that we could have a double dip?
Well, I think that what's happening is there's so many forces right now down on this unemployment number, and the biggest one is that companies are not really feeling the demand at the pace that they need to hire permanent staff. So as a result, what we're seeing is in our business, the last 4 months, our industry has gone up in the BLS numbers. Very classical precursor of what's hiring, but there's not enough demand to kind of puncture that and start the permanent hiring. So what we're seeing is the uncertainty is based on lack of demand. Uncertainty is based on a lot of noise in healthcare, taxes, global fronts, Greece. All of these elements are making it difficult. But at the end of the day, the consumer's got to get back in the game, and they get back in the game by being employed. And that's going to be a little while yet.
Jeff, one of the key words, though, in what you were just talking about is permanent staffing. Of course, your company is a temporary staffing company. The last earnings report was much stronger than analysts had anticipated. Do you think you'll continue to benefit from companies being tentative but confident enough that they'll hire temporary folks?
Oh, no doubt. Temporary typically will run in 2 to 3, 4 years into the cycle. What happens for us is about 9 months typically into the recovery, we have a very large segment of a permanent recruitment business. So we're one of the largest permanent recruitment companies in the country, if not the world. As a result, we start to really feel that, where companies are coming to us and saying, I need an SAP programmer, I need a quality assurance manager. We've just started to see that. That business is up maybe 3–4%, whereas our staffing business in the U.S. is up into the high teens. So you're seeing that kind of mix happening, and we'll see that shift in another couple months.
Jeff, we have about 45 seconds left. Can we talk regions here in the U.S.? Where did you see the most strength?
Well, what's coming up into the second quarter is you're going to see the most strength in the West and in the Northeast. And part of that is that you saw some strength in the first quarter in the South and the Midwest. They're kind of coming down a little. You could say you're getting closer to some inventory replenishment. But right now it's the West, the Northeast, and actually great places for it to be, because the West needs a little help right now.
All right, Jeff Joerres, CEO of Manpower, talking to us about jobs numbers and about his own business today. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you.